Hey there, guys. It's Veronica. I'm back with more resources. Again, I am a certified life coach. I help people, specifically single parents, that are dealing with trauma or moving through trauma and or affected by incarceration. So today, the video is about housing for those that are soon to be released. And I just want to give out a few resources for those. It's not an all-inclusive list, but it gives you enough information to get started. Of course, as usual, reach out if you have any questions. Excuse me, yes, I'm still getting over a cold. Um, excuse me. So please reach out in the comments if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I do respond to all of my comments. On that note, we'll get right into it. So first off, I want to start off with transitional housing. So those are typically your halfway houses or your faith-based organizations. Halfway houses are usually structured environments. They're operated by government and private organizations. And you also have the different faith-based programs. And most of these are run by religious and nonprofit organizations. And they are, created for transitional housing programs. So the next section I have are the reentry housing programs. And these are typically your specialized programs to help ex-offenders find housing and avoid homelessness. As we know, here in America, we're dealing with a lot of homelessness, and a lot of it is not even from people that are re-entering I would say traditional society, because people that are incarcerated are a part of our society. It's just, as my youngest daughter would say, they're just in a gated community. But getting back to reentry housing programs. So, for example, there's the Oxford House. It's a nationwide, so this is a national network offering recovery housing for individuals overcoming substance abuse. Then you also have, for example, Volunteers of America, and they also provide housing and support services for those that are re-entering after, incarceration. And so they can be reached at voa.org. I will link to in the description to all of ways to contact these places to get more information, get updated information. As we know, especially with housing, things do change. There's another one section, which is the public housing. I'm not personally familiar with this, but there are public housing authorities that provide affordable housing options with some accommodations for those that have a criminal record. And these are HUD-funded programs. For example, like Section 8 housing vouchers, they can help with those type of things. So you just want to call your local public housing authority and ask, do they participate in these programs to help those that are re-entering the community. So another section or type of housing, it's called supportive housing. And these supportive housing services, they combine services. So you kind of get services either all under one roof or within, I would say, maybe one compound. It may not be in the specific house. You may have to go to another building. But bottom line is they provide wraparound services. And some of these services include like mental health counseling And from my experience, a lot of people that are incarcerated are dealing with substance abuse, are dealing with mental health concerns. And unfortunately, here in the US, we utilize a lot of the jails and prisons and so on as kind of like a drop off for these issues, when, in my opinion, these people should be going to a place that's, will address the root issue. Yes, they may have committed a crime and so on. However, what is the root issue? But again, those are my opinions. So they help with, like I said, mental health counseling, substance abuse treatment, and employment assistance. Um, I will be doing a video about finding employment for those that, may have a criminal record, and for, to include companies that will give second chances in that area. So, as far as supportive housing, you have the Fortune Society. It offers housing and reentry services in New York. So, they can be found at fortunesociety.org. Another place is the Doe Fund. It provides transitional and permanent housing for ex-offenders. So, you visit doe.org. And moving on, we have our faith-based and nonprofit organization. So a well-known one is Salvation Army, and they run reentry programs across the U.S. So, excuse me, you can find more information about them, salvationarmyusa.org. And these organizations often provide holistic support. So not just targeting one area. They look at the whole person and provide services to help that person to be a better person. Of course, they have to want it. It doesn't help if they don't want it. So you also have the Delancey Street Foundation. It's based in San Francisco and offers housing, education, and job training. And they can be found at DelanceyStreetFoundation.org. Now, breaking it down to more state specific, and I'm only going to touch on Nevada because that is the current state I reside in, although I have some information on California, but it's not going to be included here. At a later time, I will cover California because it's a big state. It offers lots of resources. And so, as far as Nevada, we have Nevada Reentry Program. It assists individuals in Nevada with housing and reintegration needs. You also have, in Northern Nevada, we have Nevada Cares Campus. And they provide shelter, support services, including like mental health and helping individuals find housing, and which housing providers will accept people with, background concerns. And they, also, get assigned a case worker so they could really address the needs. And it's for people that are experiencing homelessness in Northern Nevada. You also have the Volunteers of America, excuse me, and they offer transitional housing and supportive services throughout Nevada, including Reno and surrounding areas. And again, I will link in the description different ways to contact these different agencies. But for Volunteers of America, you can reach them at voa.org. Then next on the list is the Catholic Community Services of Northern Nevada. They provide housing, food programs, and case management for individuals and families in need. So they can be reached at ccsnn.org. And moving on down the list is WC. And They offer reentry support, including housing. They help individuals transition back into the community. They also have different services they offer outside of reentry. They offer medical services. They offer pharmacy services too. Then there's Life Changes. They are an organization that provide transitional housing and recovery programs in Reno for people that are overcoming addiction and other challenges. And they can be reached at lifechangesinc.solutions. And I just want to put out there, a lot of the places that provide these services, they are usually located in the inner city. So it it is important that the person is, fully supported, whether it's by you, other family members, or other positive friends, to help keep them encouraged, because there will be temptation and so on. If, usually when places are in the inner city, there's issues of crime, of drugs, and so on. So the person that's needing the service may need to think about if they may need to go into a more structured environment where there's possibly like 30 days down where there's no contact with, anyone outside of the organization for the first 30 days, so they can, be fully focused and adapted. But of course, that is their choice. I just wanted to put that out there, because sometimes, people think, oh, it's a program and everything's all peaches and cream. But of course, a lot of places are nonprofits. They have to, get things that are within budget constraints and so on and so on. So just keep that in mind. So moving on down the list, here in Northern Nevada, we have Bristol Cone Family Resources, and they support individuals with mental health and housing needs. So they can be reached at bristolconereno.com. And then there's Hopes. I believe the contact person is Charles Tolbert. Excuse me. I recently saw him on the news here within the last couple weeks, talking about the different services and the footwork and the hands-on services he provides within the community through Hopes. And they offer supportive housing and healthcare services for individuals in need across Northern Nevada. And they can be reached at nnhopes.org. And my last one on the list for Nevada is the Salvation Army Reno Corps. And they offer adult rehabilitation program dedicated to assisting men facing challenges such as substance abuse and homelessness. This is a 6-month program. So they provide participants with structured support, including counseling, work therapy, and spiritual guidance, aiming to help them achieve long-term sobriety and reintegration into the community. And they can be reached at, I'll just put this information in the description, because there's a phone number and the address, and also a person that can be directly contacted via email. So other national directories include Fair Shake. They offer a directory of reentry services. So you want to reach out to fairshake.net, and they have several resources located on their website. Also, another site for information on reentry is Help for Felons. They provide resources for housing, employment, and legal aid. So you would want to visit helpforfelons.org. And lastly, we have some other key national organizations such as HUD. HUD has resources for formerly incarcerated individuals. So you would go to hud.gov/reentry. Then there's the National Reentry Resource Center, and you would visit National Reentry Resource Center. So you could search that online. And last on my list is Help for Felons Housing Directory. So visit Help for Felons online. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time out to watch the video. I truly hope that this helps someone. Maybe if it's not you personally, maybe you can pass this on to a family or a friend or someone that you know is in need of information regarding reentry services. And if you'd like to know when I'm going to be posting another video, please feel free to subscribe and hit the like button. Those are free ways that you can support the channel. And again, I thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. And again, be blessed and thank you for watching.